Hello, beautiful souls. Today we're talking about the 3 lies you were told about money that are simply not true. So I've just finished the 3-day challenge, the expansion effect, and it was all about breaking through or shattering the income ceiling to go to the next level of revenues or income in your business. And I want to share about kind of the top 3, misconceptions when it comes to creating abundance in your life. So number 1, the lie number 1. The first kind of big one is that you've been told by coaches, mentors, spiritual teachers that you have some money blocks and you're going to go away and heal those money blocks so you can go and receive money. Well, here's why this is not true. So from the moment you were born, you were clothed and fed, which cost money. Every single item of clothing that you have purchased yourself, every single breakfast, lunch, and dinner was purchased with money. Every single paycheck that you received, every single customer invoice that you received money. If right now in your home, you look around you, whether it's your desk, your chair, your bedside table light, the cushion on your sofa, was all paid with money. Every holiday you've taken or vacation was paid with money. Every salary that you paid your employees was paid with money. So the truth is actually you don't have a money block because you've been receiving money from the moment you were born, directly and indirectly. So indirectly may be that you got a discount of something, or somebody bought you dinner or a free cup of coffee. Somebody gifted you something, right? So this might be all the gifts you receive from your parents, families, and things like that. All of this cost money. So the truth is that there is no money block. You don't have a money block, right? Because the biggest block actually is when you tell yourself you have a money block, this is what blocks the money. The belief that you have a money block, and that's why you can't receive. Because the truth is you've been receiving money all your life. Here's what you're wanting. You're wanting more money, more consistently, more abundantly, with certainty, and without having to do all the efforting. All the effort is what you're really wanting, okay? That's the desire. So what you really have is perhaps some incorrect assumptions around how money works in your life. Okay, so here is like the next kind of big lie or incorrect assumption. That you have to be worthy and deserving to receive more. I once believed this one too. So many years ago, early in my healing career, I had the opportunity to work with my very first billionaire. And this woman was just a beautiful, phenomenal client. She came to me with a lot of health challenges. And she was one of the wealthiest people in her country. Her entire family were in fact wealthy. And she came to me with a lot of health challenges. And we started working on some of the things that were going on with her finances, with her family investments and portfolio. And when I started working on her money mindset, I was shocked to uncover and discover that she had these limiting beliefs around money and her self-worth. And I was so confused. I was like, I thought you had to feel worthy and deserving and love yourself to make lots of money. But it wasn't the case. I was actually shocked at how many self-limiting beliefs she had around money. So when I was in guided meditation and I was connecting to the Creator, I said, God, how can this be? I thought we had to be worthy and deserving. How can this person be a billionaire yet have such low self-worth and so many corrupted programs or beliefs about money? And the Creator, God, Allah, said to me, she just assumes and expects it to be there. That she grew up, she inherited this wealth from her father and her grandfather. So it was generational wealth. She was trained by her father to manage the wealth and her wealth advisors. So she just had this assumption and expectation that it's always there. Now she didn't feel worthy and deserving of it. And there were lots of other self-limiting beliefs she had, but it was simply she had an assumption that it just gets to be here. So I'm sure you can think of plenty of very wealthy people who you probably don't think are worthy and deserving of having so much money. If you think of some of the people that are perhaps doing corrupt things in the world who are amassing vast sums of wealth. So money blocks worthiness issues have got nothing to do with how much money you get to receive. Okay, so your worthiness is irrelevant. Okay, here's the next lie that you've been told. And this is a very common one right now. So officially right now it's 29th of July 2025, and the media is in a frenzy, absolute frenzy, with all the propaganda of lack and limitation. That the economy around the world is going down across Europe and many other nations. We have so many wars happening, many political leaders who are kind of creating disruption in the economy, and it's creating a lot of fear and panic in the masses. Okay, and so there's this kind of belief that like the jobs are running out, and that AI is going to like eliminate so many jobs that you better prepare because AI is going to destroy these jobs, and you can prepare for all this struggle and hardship, that the money's running out, the opportunities are running out, right? That in a recession that there's like this less money, that companies are closing down, people getting bankrupt and foreclosing. This is an absolute lie. So did you know that they're printing more money every single day? Every country around the world is continually producing and creating more money, and in all new forms as well. So it's not just cash, if you will. It's now new forms of currency like the crypto coins, right? So when minerals and gemstones are being drawn from the ground, that has a value to it. So gold is a form of currency. Silver is a form of currency. So the truth is that money is not running out. There's not a lack. It's just the propaganda. All that's actually happening is the money is changing hands. They're making more of it, and it's just changing hands. It's just circulating. So money, another definition of money, is currency. It's a current. It travels around the world. It's just changing hands. So historically, the most amount of millionaires are actually created in a recession. Don't know if you knew that. The most amount of millionaires, multimillionaires, are created during a recession. This is when people are like squeezed, yeah? Which then means they're forced to innovate. They're forced to do something different. When the economy is good, the economy is booming, people tend to get complacent, they tend to get lazy, they tend to stay and rest in their laurels and do what they've always done. But when there's this recession, this energy of like global contraction, right? You can go two ways. You can submit, comply, compress, cut back, right? Stay small and believe in the propaganda of lack and limitations, in the lack potential. Or you can go, I recognize that this is not the highest truth, that actually this is an opportunity. So rather than seeing this as a problem or even a challenge, you can see it as an opportunity. You can ask yourself, how's it happening for me instead of to me? How's it happening for me instead of to me? So I'll give you a quick little story of this. So this was like 2020. I was literally on the plane coming back from a retreat in Miami. I had the beautiful, gorgeous retreat that I attended in Miami. I was literally, I think, on one of the last flights out of the US before they closed the borders during the pandemic. And at that time, I was running a healing school with around 40 live events in London. So all the hotels were booked, team was wrapped around that whole organization, the infrastructure of that particular company. And we had a number of teachers working for us, so classes were typically happening 2, 3, 4 times a week, and monthly meditation evenings with 200 people. Like, this was an events organization run on a specific energy healing modality, so where we gave away certifications so people could start their business. And so when the lockdown happened, I remember it was my birthday. I'm sitting in the restaurant, and then we had a beautiful, gorgeous dinner. And then I got in the car, and literally the government's like, we're serious. This is a lockdown. You cannot leave your house. And I think the reality hit home, like, oh my God, like, if we can't leave the house, what's going to happen to my 40 plus classes, like, across London? All my students, all the course deposits that I've collected, the hotel rooms we've booked and put money down, like, what's going to happen to this business and how long is this going to last? And I'm sure everybody kind of can relate to kind of like the squeezing you felt during that time. And I'll be honest, during those kind of like few kind of weeks, I went into freak out mode. I lost my faith. I panicked. I made some poor decisions. And then I thought, like, I'm unavailable to go down. Like, My entire company is built on live in-person events, that business model back then. Like, I'm available to go under, like I'm supporting my family, my husband, my children, my employees, my students, my community. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, I am not going down. I need some help and support. So I not only hired one coach, I actually hired two. With money I didn't have. I just had enough money to pay for the deposits of both those coaches. So one for like the energetics and mindset piece, the other one for strategy and tactics. I was like, I'm calling all like bringing in all the support, bringing in the cavalry to help me out here because I can't do this on my own. And so I invested like, I think like $150,000 in coaches over that year. But on payment plan is how I did it. And I just trusted that, I'll do what it takes. I'll do the hard work. I'll roll up my sleeves and, follow the guidance to pull myself out of this and just turn this around. And I remember one of the questions that the coach asked me. She said, Anna, how is this happening for you instead of to you? How is this happening for you instead of to you? Now, interestingly, I've asked my students that question many times. So it wasn't like it was a radical new thing. It was like, shoot, I've never asked myself this. I got into the panic, the fear of what was happening, that my business could potentially crumble, and how am I going to keep afloat during God knows how long this is going to last, to how's it happening for me instead of to me. And I started to realize that the business model I had built was unsustainable. Yes, I love my company. Yes, I love my humans that were in my courses, my programs, and the teachings. I loved all of it. What I didn't love is that I was away from my children most weekends. What I didn't love was the hustle and grind working in the business with a very complicated business model. I wasn't in love with the business model and the overheads, very high overheads of hiring hotel rooms across London. My bill was around about 50 to 60,000 pounds before I even sold one spot on an event. The base outlay was around 60,000 pounds, which is a lot of money. And that doesn't even include like salaries and everything else on top of that. So it was like very high expenses, a lot of hard work. We loved what we did. We often, arrived early at the hotel. So one of my employees at the time, Katia, she would leave her house at Portsmouth at 4 a.m., drive all the way into London and set up the room so we would be ready by 8 o'clock so that we're ready when students start arriving. Like, it was logistically. The books, the manuals, the crystals, books getting damaged, crystals getting broken. I bought beautiful statues that went missing. Like, I love the business, but not the business model. And I started to realize, well, if I'm gonna transform the way that I'm working, what would be a fun, joyful, pleasurable way? Like, if I had to, this is a clean slate, how do I get to do it differently? And I started to see from the field of potentiality, from possibility, instead of seeing that this was somehow a problem or a challenge that I had to try and fix from fear, lack, and worry, and this compression energy, to what if I flipped the story and I started to see this as an opportunity, as a gift, which then gave me permission to think outside the box. And around that time, I not only had one company, but I actually had two, which is how we stayed afloat initially for those first couple of months. So I innovated. I started creating digital courses, which to date have generated over $1.5 million in passive and semi-passive cash flow. That could have not have happened if the pandemic didn't happen. That forced me into making a change, which means I get to make money while I sleep. I wake up to cash in my business because my digital courses are selling. I've got people on payment plans. I've got monthly recurring revenues in my business. What a gift to not start from zero every single month. Yeah, I've got clients all around the world who no longer have to get on a flight, book a hotel, right? Get babysitters for their kids. They can do it online. They can do it live. They can watch the replay if the time zone is not suited to them. All of these gifts came from this. So when you think about some of the stories you're telling yourself right now around money, around not enough clients, not enough opportunity, the sales aren't working like they used to, what used to work is not working, do I need to try a new strategy, a new tactic? Is it my funnels? Is it my sales copy? Is it my messaging? Is it my targeting? All of this is very much in the 3D, and it's all coming from, there's a problem I need to fix. And so if you're in this mindset or consciousness of there's a problem, I need to fix this, right? you're very much in that sort of like lack potential, which then compresses the ideas you get. So during the expansion effect that we just finished this weekend, I did something quite unique with the members. They were thinking they were going to get some business coaching on how to make more money in their business. And what they actually got was an energetic reset and recalibration to the field of pure potential. By looking outside of their current situation, and instead of seeing it as a problem, seeing it as an opportunity. Changing the viewpoint through which you view your life, your business, your clients, and the way that you're doing things. And really an identity shift. An identity shift from someone who thinks they have to be worthy and deserving to receive more. From the identity of someone who thinks they've got money blocks they need to heal and fix. If you're following me for a while and you've been doing a lot of digging, a lot of healing, a lot of journaling, a lot of mantras and all the rest of it, vision boarding on your money blocks, and the money that you're wanting still hasn't shown up, something's not right. It should be working by now, and it's not. You're seeing people out there in the world who've not done a scrap of inner child work, who've not done nervous system regulation, which is managing symptoms, by the way, not the cause, who've never done healing, therapy, mindset work, yet are making millions and millions of dollars. How can this be? Because they haven't got the assumption or the story or the belief that says, I've got money blocks that I need to go and heal, so I need to work on my childhood wounds and traumas to uncover why my money is not flowing to me. Because it's been flowing to you since the moment of birth. Right? Remember, you just want more of it. You want it to be an overflow. You want to have consistency so you can have that security and stability. You want to be able to accumulate, comfortable in circulating greater sums of money, right? So you can have plenty to save, spend, and invest. That's what you're wanting. So it's not a money block. It's about expanding your capacity to receive and to hold on to more, and to trust in your ability that it's always going to be there for you, that you don't need to block the flow, if you will, in order to motivate you to make more. That you don't need to be in complaining about the little that you have in order to motivate you to make more. In fact, this is one of the hardest ways to manifest. If you are in complaining, looking at the lack of money or clients or opportunities, if you're focusing on that, talking about that, ruminating over it, like worrying about it, what are you manifesting? Basic law of attraction, guys. What you focus on grows. So you pivot, you see, how's this happening to me instead of for me? How's this an opportunity? So you opt out of the lies you were told by mainstream and collective consciousness programming, and you start to recognize that money and opportunities is all around you. It has always been there. It's circulating, and you can put yourself in the flow of the stream by just shifting your frequency. It's as easy as that. Shifting your frequency. And that frequency is a specific signal. And in Expansion Effect, I began teaching this process of what is the signal that you must be broadcasting in order to be a vibrational match to this abundance, prosperity, wealth. So wealth is more than just money, guys. It's an abundance of health, abundance of free time, relationships, all the things. You just do want money. You want all the things, all the things. So if you're ready to opt out of mainstream propaganda, to disconnect yourself from the lies of the false gods who are propagating that there is not enough, and really tap into the abundance and wealth frequency, then come join me inside the Expansion Effect. So we've just finished the core trainings this weekend, and we just finished it yesterday. And we're now beginning the 7 by 77 day challenge. This would be a very special challenge inside Telegram. So you get that as part of the Expansion Effect. So essentially it's 7 things you'll do each day that's going to build momentum and compound money in your life. It's ideal for entrepreneurs, business owners. If you haven't got a business, it's probably not the best fit for you. That's not to say you can't make money, but it's ideally for entrepreneurs who have some clients, you're making some money, and you're ready to scale things up, build momentum. So it's going to be a fusion of energetics, mindset, and practical strategies and tactics that's going to create money in your life from just 7 things that you'll do each and every day. Very easy, very quick. And this is where most people falter. They are looking for the fandangled new strategy, something like no one knows. They're kind of hunting and scouring the internet for what's going to make them like stacks of cash. And actually, it's actually very simple. Very simple. And I think Tony Robbins says it best. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Complexity is the enemy of execution. So I'm going to make it super simple for you guys. Super simple to build momentum, create this compounding effect. And as a result of this compounding momentum energy, it's going to make it easier and easier for you to make money as we go through the 77-day challenge in Telegram. So that's included inside expansion effect. And then lastly, if you're ready to work on your resistance to receiving, accepting, holding on to more money, more frequently, with certainty, with conviction, to be comfortable in circulating greater sums of money, opening up your energetic fields to wealth, not just money. Yeah. If you're ready to create peaceful profits, then invite you into Soul Aligned Money Mastermind. So this is actually an 8-week mastermind, which I've now made 12 weeks. This officially will be the last time I'm offering lifetime access. So if you've been like watching me for a while, watching the programs that I've been doing, the masterclasses, and you've been thinking, entertaining of getting into some of the higher level masterminds, then Soul Aligned Money, the cart is open right now. The early bird expires in just a few days. So there's a discount code. I'll post that below this video for you so you can go grab that. And painful payment plans, it's all available. This is where we will work together for 12 weeks on your wealth consciousness. It's the energetics and the mindset to expand your capacity to receive more with certainty. There's a lot of shifts and changes that have occurred in me, working with some very profound coaches and mentors in the last sort of 6 to 8 months. And my body of work is changing and transforming as I've had this new shift and awareness. So last week was a 300K week. It was a very good week. So I literally walk my walk, talk my talk. So I would love to have you inside Soul Aligned Money if you are ready to go big, because your great work requires great resources. Your great work requires great resources. So if you know you've got a mission and a purpose on this planet and you want to do great work in the world, then you are going to be utilizing that money to circulate, to create that impact, then Soul Aligned Money is the home for you. So again, the links will be below this video on Instagram. So you can just comment Soul Align and you get the link to Soul Aligned Money. Or if you want the expansion effect, you can just comment expansion and we'll get those links to you. Thank you so much. Your task right now, your task is to opt out of the 3 lies you were told about money. Simply opt out, deselect. No digging, no healing is required. You can just simply recognize and realize that it's not true and that this is all happening for you instead of to you. Lots of love. See you next time.